Nigeria is facing stagflation. And what is stagflation? I want to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to invite me, Dr. Caesar Saheni Yayi, to have a 10 or 20 minute discussion with him. Nigeria is not among G20. South Africa is a part of G20. It's not only about GDP, it's about diversification of the economy. There is no country in the world, Mr. President, that was industrialized by foreigners. When you give jobs to foreigners, you give road construction to foreigners, you give bridges to foreigners, the money is not going to stay in Nigeria. I want to plead with you that you should focus your attention on creating more Dangotes in Nigeria. See what only one person has done now. I don't even have a visa to any country. I'm here. If the Nigerian sink ship, let me perish with it. If it survives, I'll survive with it. Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Caesar Saheni Yayi. I am your advocate for the industrial development of Africa, for the industrial development of Nigeria. I'm talking about industrial freedom for Africa and for Nigeria. I continue to stress on Nigeria because Nigeria is the foundation. Having a large population and the resources, particularly gas. Despite that, Nigeria is not among the G20. I looked at the list and I found that South Africa, with $400 billion GDP, is a part of the G20. And I decided to study what are the criteria for being a part of the G20. I found out that it's not only about GDP, it's about diversification of the economy. Therefore, even if Nigeria had a GDP of 600 billion, it still will not qualify to be a part of the G20. And what is the G20? The G20 are the 20 most powerful economies in the world, and Nigeria is not part of it. We ought to be a member of that institution. So what is the problem? South Africa is there because for many years, South Africa was ruled by white people, and they knew that they could not rely on only exportation of commodities. So they diversified their economy where they are able to manufacture finished products. And that is what we don't have the capacity to do in Nigeria. I want to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to invite me, Dr. Caesar Saheni Yayi, to have a 10 or 20 minute discussion with him so that I can elucidate the very essence of what we ought to do that can transform the economy of Nigeria in 1 year. What are we facing now? Nigeria is facing stagflation. And what is stagflation? Stagflation is where you have an economy that has high interest rate, high inflation, high unemployment. And to our own, we also add high debt rate. What that means is that there's almost zero growth. Even if you have a little increase in the GDP, rate of GDP growth, because the population is also growing at almost the same level as the GDP, it is flat. If you don't have an economy that is growing rapidly, exponentially, for a country like Nigeria that is more or less moribund, we are on a ship that is going to sink. Nigeria is on a ship that is sinking, all because we do not manufacture anything. We can start manufacturing within 1 year. I have said it repeatedly and often. What we need, unfortunately, is not higher taxes. It's not more tariff on imported goods, because you are tasking and increasing taxes and tariff and the income is not going up because we are not manufacturing anything, we are not adding value to anything, we're just exporting crude oil and liquefied natural gas. We need to do better than that. The minuscule manufacturing that's going on in Nigeria is being done by the Indians and the Chinese. Where are the Nigerians? Let me tell you, Mr. President, one of the reasons why the Naira has stabilized in the last 1 year is because of the advent of Dangote refinery. Because of Dangote refinery, we don't have to spend our money importing fuel anymore. Otherwise, we'll spend billions of dollars importing fuel every year. Imagine the pressure that would have put on the Naira. Because Dangote is producing cement, we don't have to import cement anymore. Imagine the pressure that would have put on the economy. Because Dangote is producing fertilizer, we don't have to import fertilizer anymore. As a matter of fact, from what I read, as from 2026, Dangote is going to start exporting fertilizer. That's more currency coming in. And that is what is going to transform Nigeria. Mr. President, there can be 1,000 Dangotes in Nigeria, and you are the one to do it. Government made Dangote. We have Boa Cement. We have multiple Nigerians that are in the oil stream. Where are Nigerians in the manufacturing sector? I have said it before, and if you invite me, one of the things I will tell you is that the Nigerian government, either through some form of getting Nigerians to contribute to a fund where we have to invest in how to tap the natural gas and deliver it to clusters. We can pipe natural gas from south to north. We can pipe natural gas to every city in Nigeria. We can't do that immediately, but we can start from where gas is produced. Right now, the gas that we are getting from the ground, the natural gas, is being monopolized by foreign companies. Nigerian companies ought to be in charge of getting the natural gas from the ground. We have natural gas that comes in form of liquefied natural gas that we export. We have natural gas in form of compressed natural gas that we use to power our vehicles, but it's a monopoly. It's not enough to get around. And you have LPG, which is liquefied petroleum gas that we get from refinery when you are refining petroleum. All these things ought to be within the control of Nigerians. There is no country in the world, Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu, that was industrialized by foreigners. When you give jobs to foreigners, you give road construction to foreigners, you give bridges to foreigners, you build overhead bridge to foreigners, the money is not going to stay in Nigeria. As they receive the money, they do what everybody does. Nigerians in America, when they make money, they send money back home because this is their foundation. Although they are in America, I understand that that is one of the highest sources of foreign exchange for Nigerian government, where Nigerians bring back dollar. That is the way every country, every citizen will do. So the Chinese, the Indians, if you think they are your friends, we have formed a habit now of pouring water into a basket. It can never be full. I am here with my wife and 6 children. I don't even have a visa to any country. I'm here. If the Nigerian sink ship, let me perish with it. If it survives, I'll survive with it. There are many Nigerians that are in my category, waiting to see how Nigeria can blossom. I want to plead with you that you should focus your attention on creating more Dangotes in Nigeria. See what only one person has done now. Dangote alone because of what he has invested in, has been able to stabilize our currency. Without those commodities I mentioned, those products, without them, Nigerian naira today will be about 10,000 to 1. Right now it is 1,450 naira to $1. And everybody is saying, how do we stabilize the naira? What I'm telling you is that by increasing taxes, increasing tariff will not solve the problem. We can start manufacturing finished products here in Nigeria. All the countries in the world that made the G20, they are all manufacturing countries. Even Saudi Arabia, that is known to do oil export, they are focusing their energy now into industrial manufacturing. I was reading a few days ago that Burkina Faso is getting Russia to set up a nuclear reactor to generate electricity for them in Burkina Faso. That is because they don't have gas. We have gas. In the immediate term, we can form industrial parks near where you have gas. But today, the government is more interested in how much they can sell the gas, how much do we make from natural gas. Whereas, if you make the gas very, very cheap and affordable and accessible to companies that can set up industrial park near where you have gas, then you bring in the machinery to manufacture finished products. If you have that, within 1 year, you will see a restructuring of Nigeria. Nigeria are very aggressive, are very determined. If you show them the way and they see that there's money that can be made in any project, within a short spell, you see Nigerians will be all over the place. No country can rival us. We are aggressive. Everywhere we go in Africa, we dominate. But here, we have a problem. The problem is that we are sitting on gas and we don't know how to use it. Please, as President of Nigeria, let us sit down so we can chart a course on how we can make use of gas to liberate the Nigerian economy, to put Nigerian entrepreneurs first. There are many Nigerian entrepreneurs that can put their heads together and transform Nigerian economy. If Nigerians can run banks, why can't they run industries? If Nigerians can run banks, why can't they construct roads? Put the Nigerian banks together, let them put the collaterals together, and let them construct the roads. We can do cargo rail. We need cargo rail. Cement is expensive today in Nigeria because of transportation. Dangote is producing cement at Ghana. To transport it using diesel on a truck, destroying our highways, it's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to have a cargo rail system, transportation. It will make food cheaper. You produce yam in the north or in the middle belt and tomatoes in the north. You can bring them in on the cheap, on train, and it will be very cheap. It will be affordable. It will boost the economy. It will reduce the burden on our roads. We need a functional cargo rail system in Nigeria. It's cheaper than constructing a highway. It will save our roads. And I continue to tell you, Mr. President, the future of Nigeria is in your hands. Whether we move forward or backwards is up to you. And finally, let me tell you something. We have been preparing for 2027 election since about 2.5 years ago. That is the way it's going to continue to be. China can plan for 50 years. China can plan for 100 years. America is now finding it difficult to plan for 4 years because of the so-called democracy. I don't want us to be afraid. We can tell the Americans, tell the British, thank you for your democracy. We want a system that will work. The man that built China, his name is Deng Xiaoping. He assumed power in 1978. In 4 years' time, China was already in the path of transformation. What did he do? He said, it doesn't matter whether a cat is white or black, as long as it can catch mice. That is, as long as the cat can catch rats. Doesn't matter whether it's white or black. What did he mean by that? What he meant was that you don't have to worry about capitalism or socialism or democracy. You pick what will work for you. And so China, they pick some part of democracy, they pick some part of capitalism, some part of socialism, and form their own system. And what system do they form? One party. No competition. We are going to spend billions and billions of dollars next year to do election. That we already know the result. We are wasting our time. There's no need for that. Even if the party is bad, let them put a system where we don't have to waste our money conducting an election. It doesn't matter how you do the election, we are getting the same results. So why waste our time? Have the courage to form a one party that will encapsulate every aspect of Nigeria, north, south, east, and west, all the regions, forming one party. And it's that party that will decide who becomes governor or who decides who becomes president. Not a general election. That is the problem of India today. They spend billions, maybe trillions, just to conduct one election. They are always thinking of the next 4 years. If you have this system, you don't have to worry about the next 4 years. You can plan for the next 20 years. Oh, we are going to have to develop pharmaceutical. We are going to have to develop our highways. We are going to have to develop our railway. We want to conquer so many industries so that we will not be importing finished products. We want to be a country that can export finished products in 20 years. Not the type of Obasanjo did when he was talking about Vision 2020. He thought 20 years was far. But because of our system of democracy, no president can plan for 4 years because he doesn't know whether he will win the election. If you go to a one-party system, that fear of election is gone, so that we can concentrate on how to make Nigeria great. Nigeria can be the country that will set Africa on the path of greatness. Otherwise, we shall perish. Don't deceive yourself. Morality cannot save you. You cannot expect Israel, because of morality, to spare the Palestinians in Gaza or in West Bank. You cannot allow morality to spare Ukraine from the aggression of Russia. So you see, when you have the power to industrialize, you can manufacture your own weapons, you can defend yourself. Ukraine was waiting for Europe and America to defend. Now it didn't happen, and it will never happen. If you think that 100 years from now, 75 years from now, 50 years from now, when China is as strong as America, they want to take over Africa, that somebody will stop them, it's a lie. This is the window that we have now that we can use to take advantage of this period so that we can immediately start to industrialize. I know our people, the moment we start industrializing, it is finished. There are so many things. Invite me, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I shall convince you. I'm Dr. Caesar Osaheni Yayi. I remain your advocate for the industrial development of Africa and Nigeria and the emancipation of Africa and Nigeria. Thank you very much. Until next time, bye-bye. Nigeria is facing stagflation. And what is stagflation? I want to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to invite me, Dr. Caesar Osaheni Yayi, to have a 10 or 20 minutes discussion with him. Nigeria is not among G20. South Africa is a part of G20. It's not only about GDP, it's about diversification of the economy. There is no country in the world, Mr. President, that was industrialized by foreigners. When you give jobs to foreigners, you give road construction to foreigners, you give bridges to foreigners, the money is not going to stay in Nigeria. I want to plead with you that you should focus your attention on creating more Dangotes in Nigeria. See what only one person has done now. I don't even have a visa to any country. I'm here. If the Nigerian sink ship, let me perish with it. If it survives, I'll survive with it.